So how realistic is the possibility of reopening the Strait of Hormuz, and what would it mean for global energy markets and international trade?
So the Strait of Hormuz is going to be very, very difficult to bring back to its pre-February 28th, 2026 level. There are a lot of factors in this. One is the reality that, first of all, the war is not over. Despite all of the statements about war having ended with the ceasefire, the fact is that there's ongoing prolonged hostilities between the two states of the US and Iran. There's also hostilities between various other states, especially Israel and Iran, but also Iran and Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, and others. And so this is going to be difficult just to untangle all the different aspects. And as long as those aspects remain tangled, the Strait of Hormuz is very much in play. And Iran has indicated no interest in relinquishing its newfound control over the strait. If we go back in time to 1982, when the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea was initially established, providing the global constitution and framework for how our oceans are governed, Iran decided not to ratify the convention. The reason was that they did not want to give up the possibility of exerting sovereign control over the Strait of Hormuz. That is the reason they're not part of the international law. That is exactly what they're now trying to do today. And it is interesting that the United States is also not a party. And so the two countries that have been most in play regarding the access through the strait are not parties to the regime that would require that strait to be managed as an international strait. In other words, no direct control by either of the two coastal states, only the support to coastal state obligations like search and rescue, oil spill response, and the like. So what this means is that Iran is now seizing this opportunity to, having now effectively closed the strait, to establish not just a degree of physical aggression towards ships that go through, but a whole management scheme that they're trying to negotiate with Oman in order to have long-term say about who comes through, who doesn't, what cargoes come through, what don't, who gets checked, who doesn't, what requirements there are for any vessels transiting, all of which are inconsistent with international law, but international law to which Iran has specifically objected since it was established in 1982. So this is a complicated situation from a legal standpoint, and from a practical standpoint. The Iranians have demonstrated the capacity not only to bureaucratically administer the strait, but to back up that bureaucracy with use of force against vessels. In the last several days, we have seen 4 successful attacks that have persuaded vessels to change course. And all 4 of them were going through that southern corridor protected by the United States. It is an indication that Iran will not back down, and in fact is increasing its hostility. Just today, we have a seafarer that is missing, a vessel that's on fire. It's a very grim picture for the mariners who are responsible for carrying 90% of world trade. And certainly the Strait of Hormuz has become the most dangerous epicenter of global conflict, not just in terms of the states that are fighting, but also the commercial merchant vessels that are going through. And that is a chokehold that the Iranians are unlikely to relinquish.